Today we are looking at every LEGO set for each MCU Marvel movie holistically and ranking which movie was the best as far as which LEGO sets they received.
We're going only off of the brickset.com tags that tag which sets are for which movie. So maybe some sets maybe should have been categorized for that movie. We're only counting the ones that officially are by Brickset.
I do have some movies that weren't included in any sort of LEGO form for some reason. The Incredible Hulk movie, Captain America the First Avenger, Thor 1, Thor the Dark World, Deadpool, Wolverine, of course, no R-rated properties. But for some reason, none of these got an actual LEGO set officially for that movie. Let's go ahead and start with our 29th Marvel movie, which would be The Winter Soldier. Unfortunately, there's only one poly bag, which is The Winter Soldier. But don't get me wrong, this minifigure is actually pretty dope. One side of the head is a movie type version. The other side of the head is a comics type version of Bucky Barnes. But unfortunately, this is all that we received.
28, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Again, one single set. Yeah, maybe you don't think the movie was that great. I thought it was okay. But where's Kang? Where's Hank Pym? Where's Janet? Where's like so many characters? Stature.
It is nice to get the Wasp micro figure. I will say that much. But other than that, this is pretty underwhelming for a set that could have had a lot of Kang the Conqueror content. Next up, we have the Black Widow movie. We just received one set as well, but with 3 minifigures. I don't think this does a great representation of the Black Widow movie. I mean, I don't know. What else could you have done? At least they could have done some detail on this Taskmaster minifigure. Lego Fortnite is looking at us like idiots right now because what is this Taskmaster? But kind of underwhelming, guys. What is this side buggy and motorcycle? I'm not getting very many Black Widow vibes from this set.
So there is the other Black Widow set that has Red Guardian's Taskmaster's tank, but it's not categorized as a Black Widow set on Brickset.
Hopefully we can see some better renditions of the characters with the upcoming Thunderbolts movie next year. That would be pretty dope. Let's go ahead and go with our 26th pick, which is Captain Marvel 1. This one's above the others because it actually is our only Skrull minifigure that we have, unless you count War Machine in some of the later sets, right? No, but seriously, guys, you get Captain Marvel in 2 of her suits, which is nice. Shows different parts of the movie because we're looking at these slides holistically as, is this a nice representation of the actual movie?
Yeah, it's really missing a lot of different figures, all the Kree warriors and everything, so it's pretty rough.
I guess right next to it is Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels.
Number 25, yeah, an overpriced, kind of a weird set. You do get some 3 pretty good figures and the kitty flurkins.
I'll be candid with you, Daniel. I did buy this at Target on deep discount. I did get that Miss Marvel minifigure. I did enjoy it, and I put all these kitties on my Sanctum Sanctorum. So I did get something out of it. The ship itself is pretty shoddy. Speaking of shoddy builds, we have our 24th pick, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Guys, this is like raw eggs that haven't even been on the pan for more than like 2 seconds, bro. They literally undercooked this so much that Shang-Chi's skin color is literally the wrong skin color, guys. They put no effort into these minifigures. Death Dealer looks okay, but man, Razor Fist, Wenwu, this is a very underbaked wave, and it's kind of sad to see from an epic movie.
Yeah, there could be a lot of different other cool things you could see here. Dweller in Darkness, his minions, the bus scene, tons of cool stuff, and it's just kind of the bare minimum. Number 23, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Pretty nice set just because you get 3 really good figures. I think they're really good figures. And the set itself is okay for what it is. It's just, you don't get very much for the entire movie to represent.
Our only Ghost minifigure, which is pretty cool. And this was our only Wasp at the time. It's now been improved on Avengers Tower, which is highly appreciated. But this is a pretty cute set to represent the movie. It's not bad. And we also have another one-off set representing the movie. Our 22nd place, Doctor Strange 1. It captures a lot of the vibe. Just seeing that Sanctum Sanctorum window, definitely identifiable to any Marvel fan. That is the Sanctum Sanctorum. This is our only Ancient One minifigure, and I'm really glad I got a hold of this because she is very unique with her unique magic fans. But there is one thing that Daniel was going to tell us that it is lacking.
Where are the antagonists? Where are the villains? I mean, Caecilius, Dormammu, anything. Like number 21, Iron Man 2. The only Iron Man 2 set, technically, you do get an antagonist in this one with Whiplash and a whole bunch of Iron Man figures. Yes, these Hall of Armors are always so overpriced, but at least there's some variety here, and it kind of represents Iron Man 2. What could have been cool to see, like, actual racetrack where Whiplash attacks, or even the final battle from Iron Man 2, where you have Whiplash versus War Machine and Iron Man at the Stark Expo, but It's just this.
Good thing about it being overpriced is it will go on clearance, and I'm pretty sure this set did eventually go on discount. So right after Iron Man 2, we have Iron Man 1 in 20th place. Guys, Brickset categorized this Iron Man bust as an Iron Man 1 set, even though it says Avengers on the nameplate. The Ironmonger Mayhem set is actually really legitimate. It's really well designed. I love having the Obadiah Stane and Pepper Potts minifigures, and I think that one's really carrying it here.
Number 19, Iron Man 3. Okay, there's a lot of inaccuracy in these sets. Play that Mandarin vehicle, all-timer, but you do get a lot of exclusive figs like the Silver Centurion, like the Iron Patriot, and those kind of carry this to where it is here.
Black Panther, guys. Why does Black Panther? I'm just going to say it. It's our channel. Why is Black Panther so technology integrated and reliant on his films? It doesn't make any sense. Yes, in the comics, Wakanda is a super advanced society with technology, but the Black Panther suit is never really technological and sending out energon blasts and has nanotechnology. Can we please stop with all that nonsense? Do you want to recreate here a fight between Killmonger and Black Panther blasting blue and orange blast beams at each other?
It's a real mixed bag. The ship itself is kind of nice, smattering of desirable figures, but it could have been cool to see M'Baku.
So it's all good though, because we have another awesome movie, Thor 4. Oh man, peak Marvel movie alert, and it translated over to the sets really well, because I'm just joking, guys. Worst Marvel movie I've ever seen in my life. The good news is the goat boat looks pretty comic accurate, and the Jane Foster looks pretty comic accurate, and that's what's pushing this so high, is I think that's actually a really good set. The battle on New Asgard is just, okay, that never happened in the movie. A green creature coming out. Doesn't look like the shadow demons that we saw. And can we just say this Gore looks like a little Caesar's greasy napkin and looks nothing like Gore the God Butcher. Get it together, Taika Waititi. Y'all gassed him up and we got some more garbage.
Less said about that, the better. Number 16, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. An eclectic mix of some ships and giant 18 plus buildable creatures. You do get a good handful of exclusive figs. There's no ego representation as far as I'm aware, and he's the main antagonist.
Some highlights are the golden face lady from the Golden Planet, the taser face minifigure, and the Yondu minifigure. So there are some good minifigures in here. For the buildable figure fans, the buildable Groot and Rocket is kind of nice to have a duo of a similar proportion that you could actually have side by side with each other. And this small scale Milano's not terrible either. So it shows a lot of different parts of the movie, which I really like to see. But unfortunately, we're kind of lacking the villains here. Number 15, Ant-Man 1. It is just one set. Ant-Man's mask is inaccurate. Hank Pym suit never existed. But besides that, in Lego form, they look pretty good. Especially the yellow jacket. Looks really awesome. Thank you, MC Goat, for letting me build this. But it's really fun to build those little big Lego bricks out of smaller Lego and screws. And you guys might be saying, this is just one set, guys. How's it ranking so high above the others?
Because it perfectly encapsulates the movie in one set. It's a perfect 1 out of 1.
For sure. I don't know about perfect, but we're getting into some crazy malarkey nonsense at our 14th pick, which is Infinity War. Let's talk about the highlights and then the lowlights. The highlights are, to me, the Black Order makes their first Lego appearance. Albeit some of them look inaccurate, like Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight looks pretty good, Corvus Glaive, and Cole Obsidian. They all look okay, but it's cool to have them in Lego. This new Hulkbuster, I think, is the coolest rendition of a smaller price point Hulkbuster, probably the best Hulkbuster that we've received, and I think that's really carrying the Infinity War wave as well.
It is kind of all over the place, and it's weird to see some glaring omissions, like anything happening on the planet Titan and that battle, anything happening on Nidavellir, at the Forge, any of that. It's just kind of, here's some bunch of Hulkbusters and some battles. I know a lot of this stuff is made with concept art and they just gotta put something out on shelves. So it is nice when they can release something much more refined down the line, like the Hulkbuster we saw recently.
Speaking of refined, I think the Spider-Man Homecoming wave actually did a good job of refining the fat and making something that was movie accurate. You guys might be wondering, what is this gold drone doing from the No Way Home waves? In this brick set, categorized this as a Homecoming set, most likely because the Vulture we receive here is only from Homecoming, so that's why it's here. But if we ignore that and look into the other two sets, they're actually really good. The bank robbery scene with the masked criminals, and then the buildable Vulture wings with the kind of the high-tech van. Comes with great minifigures. Spider-Man is detailed. Homecoming specific Iron Man suit. Shocker, the first Spider-Man villain, and Vulture, the second Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, and you're really not missing a lot here from the movie that I would personally want to see. Number 12, Captain America Civil War. So these sets actually give a pretty good representation of what's in the movie. Everything from the airport battle to the Crossbones opening scene, Black Panther representation, like lots of good stuff. Even some extra bonus things like the Roxxon truck, which you could kind of put in your final battle if you want.
Honestly, for a movie that you don't really think of a lot of buildable structures, it actually came out with a surprisingly good wave of sets.
I am noticing, where's Zemo?
Where
He's
is
the main villain.
Okay,
Why do they keep
guys.
leaving the main villains out of these waves?
Never
It's
mind.
crazy.
Rake this set lower. It's not the 12th pick. It's lower because where is Baron Zemo? Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Actually, not that bad. I think it's this War on Water set that's kind of like egregious to look at. A big kind of black Dorito of sorts and suspicious Ironheart minifigures. It's cool to see different phases of the movie, like I said earlier. The final battle, Namor's throne room. Atuma and Namor are really carrying this. The Shuri Black Panther minifigure is pretty underbaked, but there definitely are some good minifigures. There's a good representation of the movie in whole, so I like to see kind of a cohesive movie wave of sets.
Is it just me, or is it funny that like the War on Water is not war? It's a like you have drones and you have a giant ship and a bunch of figures all fighting Namor. Where are the rest of like the Atlanteans? It's like number 10, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming in with some pretty solid sets, especially the Sanctum Sanctorum modular, which is absolutely fire.
Guys, I don't want to break the news to you. This is the only modular building on the list because on the box itself, it says Multiverse of Madness. And there are other things from throughout the Infinity Saga, for example, when Spider-Man and Iron Man show up, but there are a lot of Multiverse of Madness specific minifigures in here. Zombie Strange, Sinister Strange, Baron Mordo. Beautiful modular building that I absolutely love. And then the Gargantos, I keep coming back to this Shuma Gorath looking Gargantos because it was affordable. It's easy to build, and it looks good on any of your modular buildings, especially with the Sanctum. They go hand in hand. Even the polybag, I think, is a nice polybag. So I think this fires on all cylinders, being honest with you right now.
We can always nitpick omissions, like, okay, well, the Illuminati and the Lumawatties and the whoever are all being omitted, but honestly, for what you get, it's very nice.
But we are in the top 10, and with our 9th pick, we have Avengers Endgame. Man, these Avengers sets are mixed bags. That's why I think we prefer a little bit some of these more cohesive waves over the hodgepodge waves, but it does represent a lot of different things for the movie, so it does kind of rank higher sometimes. This is represented in 2 slides here. A lot of the initial Endgame sets we got are completely inaccurate because they gave no information to the Lego group as to what's happening, so Lego group is pulling stuff out of nowhere. Here's a War Machine Hulkbuster. Here's a Avengers helicopter. That's kind of hard to see, but later on the timeline, we received a few more Endgame sets now that the movies actually came out that are actually pretty good. The Benatar, the Bro Thor's New Asgard. Sanctuary 2 is quaint. Nano Gauntlet.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a little smattering of everything all over the place. But if someone is interested in anything Endgame related, whether it's figures or vehicles or locations, you're likely to find what you want out of all of these waves. I can't think of any major omissions from any of these.
Definitely. Would it have been nice to receive a lot larger and cooler Sanctuary 2? Definitely. But highlights are the Avengers come in their white time-traveling suits. Ant-Man finally gets a accurate mask. And we get Rescue as well. So definitely some pros here.
Number 8, Spider-Man Far From Home. Solid wave. Because, again, you get all of the things you need. The protagonist, the antagonist, some side characters, Maria Hill, Zendaya, some really unique minifigs.
Honestly, I think the biggest downside is just the inaccurate Happy Hogan minifigure. But other than that, this little Venice display set with Hydro Man straight from the movie, and then later on the Molten Man scene, and then later on the end Jet with the Mysterio battle. It covers all those different times of the movie. With the inclusion of Surtur, Thor Ragnarok now ranks at our 7th pick as far as Lego Marvel movie sets go, because this Surtur really completes the wave. Now you have it all. You have the beginning of the film, Surtur Thor. You have the middle of the film, Hulk vs. Thor Arena. And you have the end battle with Hela and Fenris Wolf. Man, this is such a nice and cohesive wave now that Surtur's here, and just a lot of cool highlights. Hela, Grandmaster, and Sicarian Hulk.
And also the Ragnarok version of Thor is pretty cool. So now you get actually 3 different Ragnarok Thors. That's great to see from throughout the movie.
Very true. He evolves throughout the film, and that's very similar to our Spider-Man Far From Home as well. You got to get the Night Monkey, the end battle suit. 6th pick. What's it gonna be?
Number 6, Avengers Age of Ultron. These Avengers waves, so weird. You get a whole bunch of different Iron Man things, Hulkbusters, buildable figs, etc. And you get some battle scenes. I would say that I think the coolest one here is the Quinjet, because you get the Quinjet and you even get Vision in his generating pod in the truck and everything.
With these new additions with the Age of Ultron, team up battle. You now have the beginning of the film, which is nice. The Quinjet gives you the middle of the film, and the Hulkbuster gives you the middle of the film. But the biggest thing that this is lacking is the Ultron end battle set. The lack of actual Ultron minifigures is actually a little bit crazy to me.
There is a Throne of Ultron. I believe it's a promotional set, but it's not marked as Ultron set on brick set.
I guess the idea was to get a bunch of these Ultron battle packs and just kind of amass an army, which is cool. But it would have been nice to see like a Prime Ultron minifigure, the beefed out version. Right after Avengers Age of Ultron, our 5th pick, top 5 guys, is Avengers 1. When you look at this wave, you kind of do get of the vibe of the Avengers 1 film. There are 5 poly bags. We're not going to look too much into those, but the sets that we received are pretty good. I think the new Quinjet is really carrying it because you get 4 of the core Avengers in peak suits and the Loki with the horns.
It's nice to see helicarrier representation, even though that's overpriced and it uses some crazy stickers. So it's not the greatest set ever. It's weird that the original helicarrier UCS collector's set is on here. It must not be tagged as such. But with the addition of the Leviathan as well from the Avengers Tower, it kind of completes what you would want to see in an Avengers wave.
And of course, when you got the actual Avengers Tower, you really puts everything together. Wasn't quite tagged on brick set like that because the Avengers Tower has things from Age of Ultron, Avengers 1, Infinity War, and such. So it's kind of hard to categorize.
Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this is a lot smaller of a wave than some of these other ones, but you can get basically everything you need, including the whole team of the Guardians in their comic accurate matching outfits, which is nice. Baby Rocket, very cute. And one of Methuselah's favorite ships ever.
The Bowie New Guardians ship, which comes with one of my favorite Marvel minifigures, Adam Warlock. Super dope. I think this set hits 3 for 3, in my opinion. The cheaper price point set to get Groot, Baby Rocket, emotional scene, and then the epic ship that is one of the coolest Lego spaceships I've ever built. It's not really lacking in any category except for the High Evolutionary is nowhere to be seen, and that could have definitely been an additional set. High Evolutionary ship, I don't know, something like that to kind of represent the villains a little bit more. And that's why it's ranked lower than our number 3rd pick, which is Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which actually does include Ronan the Accuser and some of the adversaries.
I think this is a really solid wave. All of the ships that you get, including the Nova ship, 2 different versions of the Milano and Rocket's Warbird. Great variety and actually some really substantial builds too.
Yes, love the Ronin minifigures. Nice diversity here. A buildable Groot figure is great. We want to see the big Groot, not the baby Groot. No, and then the Peter Quill mask doesn't look terrible, so it's nice to have a variety of different kind of sets where Guardians fans can kind of enter.
And having the exclusive Nova Corps helmet and figure and everything is pretty crazy considering that's like just like a side character, side group that's not featured too prominently in the movie. But you get a whole new mold and figure just for that is pretty cool.
Our top 2 pick, what is it?
Oh my goodness. Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, okay. Why did we put this as number 2? Because, you know, I could see arguments saying that it doesn't feel like a really full wave because you're just representing Doctor Strange's basement and the final battle, and that's it. Yes, that's true. But you get so many figures, all 3 Spideys, all of the villains, some better designs than others, Green Goblin, but you get everything you need, really.
And like we always say on this Sakuga Builds channel, Marvel is about the characters and the minifigures. So before this movie came out, they didn't know the details, so they came out with this preconceptual artwork set with this zany Scorpion minifigure. That never happened, but after the movie came out, they did us justice by going back and saying, what's the best set we could make for Spider-Man No Way Home? And gave us the Statue of Liberty head with all the characters we wanted. This single Lego set has an integrated suit Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. What other set has that? It's actually crazy. Alfred Molina Doc Ock is awesome. Jamie Foxx looks pretty good. Green Goblin, I don't know what happened with Green Goblin, so we're going to ignore that. Then the Sandman DLC comes out with the best looking lizard minifigure. Just to a actual buildable Sandman set is so cool. So they gave us the characters and they gave us what we needed, and they thought about it smartly. But there can only be one number 1, and it's already really controversial. Guys, please don't dislike the video. Our number 1 is the Eternals movie. Chloe Zhao did an amazing job of giving a beautiful visual spectacle masterpiece. Regardless if you like the script or the movie or whatever, that's completely fine. It's hard to argue that this movie was not visually extremely beautiful. Daniel Leo and I always look to this Eternals wave as this is a good example of a Marvel MCU movie cohesive wave that really represents the film and gives you what you want. I don't think it's perfect, I'll give you that. I think Crow is a little shoddy. Arishem could be bigger and more detailed, but the creative way that these deviants were built with awesome colors, getting that experience of collecting all the minifigures throughout the wave is spectacular.
Why was it that The Eternals was the movie that Lego chose to go so hard with? Because like I don't love this movie as much as Matt, but I do agree that this is the standard for a Lego MCU Marvel set wave, because you get every single Eternal. That is awesome. Because there are like 10 of them. You get all of them, new prints, everything. Some more detailed than others. The deviants that you care about. It's great that you have Crow in here because, like we've seen before, a lot of times they don't include any antagonists or the main antagonists. Arishem is such a crazy thing for them to put in here too, because it's not like they fight Arishem physically. He's just like a presence that they talk to and see. Great variety. The ship, creatures, buildable characters without being like an egregious Uncanny Valley type buildable character. What's it missing? It's hard to find anything to even gripe about here. It's just a question of if you even like the movie.
And a lot of people are going to argue, well, I see these on discount all the time at the Lego store, at Target, Walmart. That's completely fine with me, because it's not fine with me, but I understand that these aren't your Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America sets. They don't have that curb appeal because the movie, some people didn't like it. That's totally fine. But as sets, I think this is a good example for other movies in the future should take this example of giving us what we need. And these aren't even random deviants. When I rewatch the movie, I see these exact deviants in specific scenes. Gilgamesh slapping down this 6-legged deviant beast. And I think it is a great example. So sorry if you disagreed with us, but if you did disagree with us, please let us know what your favorite Marvel movie goes as far as the Lego sets correlated with it.
We'd like to give a special shout out to all of our wonderful channel members who make this possible to talk about the Eternals is #1. We're sorry. Richie Ray, Dr. Dan PhD, Uncle Norm, Uncle Mike, Saysad, Lidme, Mary Kay, and MC Goat. You guys are all real. Thank you.
Make sure you hit that thumbs up button so people know, YouTube knows that you actually enjoyed the video, and may show it to other people.
Other Eternals fans. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. If you comment Hitmonlee,